Louise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So our theme for this week, as we start to get ready for the holiday that's coming up at the end of this week, we are taking a look at some thrillers and suspense books to get us in that creepy, spooky mood. Now, some of the books we have are definitely more thriller than suspense. Some are definitely more suspense than thriller. We have some stuff that has some horror mixed in. We have some mysteries, so there's a little bit something for everyone at all different levels depending on your spookiness taste scale. So let's get started. Our first one here is Made for You. So Eva lives in the tiny town of Jessup, North Carolina, and she is the queen bee of her school. So one night when she's injured in a hit and run, everything changes. When she wakes up the next morning in the hospital recovering, she soon discovers that she has a new ability. She is able to envision people's deaths, and then other teens, like other classmates of hers, they start to show up dead in this small town. And Eva realizes that she may be able to identify who this person is doing all this because of this now ability to see people dying. But it's going to be more dangerous than anyone realizes, especially since Eva soon finds out that her hit and run wasn't actually that much of an accident, as it was more on purpose. This paranormal thriller is one that's filled with mystery, twists and turns. There is a touch of horror, just a smidge. This is Made for You. Famous last words. So Willow finds herself having to leave her suburban home in Connecticut to move out to Hollywood when her mother remarries this famous Hollywood movie director. And she decides she's going to make the best of this situation, even though she's really not happy about it. It is when she starts living in this new house that was built in the 1930s that has some creepiness to it. She's convinced there's a ghost in the house. She starts to see these visions of corpses, and there's these cryptic messages written on the walls that no one else can see. They can't see them. Apparently, it's only her, and she feels like she's starting to lose her grasp on reality. But she soon starts to piece together that what she's actually seeing in these visions, in these messages, is that they are scenes from actual murders that are taking place. Because while all this is going on, there is a serial killer set loose in Hollywood, and he is recreating murder scenes in old classic Hollywood films, only in real life. We're talking like Alfred Hitchcock-esque type stuff. And Willa thinks she sees what these scenes are. So she decides that she's going to investigate herself, and with the help of some new friends, it will leave her unnerved to the core. Filled with murder, Hollywood, old movies, drama. If you love an homage to old Hollywood, you'll love Famous Last Words. Teen Killer's Club. So Signal Deer has been accused and convicted of killing her best friend Rose. Something that Signal cannot remember. She can't place anything. She has no idea. Like, there's no way she could have done this. When her caseworker tells her that there is no way that she is ever going to win an appeal, he offers her something really different instead. He says he can get time off her sentence if she goes to this mysterious camp. And at this camp, she will then enter this secret government training program where she will learn to become an assassin. But surviving this program is going to be way harder than actually becoming an assassin, especially since all the students, when they arrive, when they get there, they are injected with this radio-controlled chip that it can be turned on and it can kill them if they are caught disobeying, trying to run away, ignoring an order, anything like that. So as Signal starts to go through this camp process, and she learns more about herself, and she starts making friends with other campers, she starts to realize that she knows what happened to her best friend that night when she was killed. And she's trying to figure out all of this to prove her innocence, all while trying to figure out how to dismember bodies and dissolve them in acid. So there's a wide breadth in this. If you love a murder mystery, if you love some horror, if you're into secret teenage assassins, this is Teen Killer's Club. The Outliers. So Wiley and Cassie were best friends, but they started to drift apart, especially as Cassie's just wanted to party all the time. She got this boyfriend named Jasper, who Wiley did not really like. And then put on top of that, Wiley got totally freaked out and now she refuses to leave the house. It's 1 week after they have this major drag-out fight that Wiley gets her first communication from Cassie. It's a text message asking Wiley for help. And then it starts getting really weird because instead of just telling her where she is, she starts to get these weird text messages from Cassie that are like encoded and they're giving her clues on where to find her and all these instructions that need to be followed. And before Wiley knows it, she's with Cassie's boyfriend Jasper and they're driving through the wilderness in Maine trying to find Cassie, but there is so much more going on than what meets the eyes at the surface. And soon Wiley and Jasper are going to find themselves wrapped up in something they never even imagined or considered a possibility. This is the first in a completed trilogy. There is a cliffhanger at the end of this, so you are going to want to check out the second one when you get this one, because you're going to want to know what happens as soon as you're done with the Outliers. The Darkest Corners. So when they were 8 years old, best friends Tessa and Callie were witnesses at a murder trial of Callie's younger cousin. Because of their testimony, they have convicted this guy named Wyatt Stokes, and he's now on death row waiting for the end of his sentence. So the following year, when she was 9, Tessa's mom up and moved her to Florida, leaving Callie and her past behind. Now, let's fast forward 10 years, and Tessa finds herself back in her hometown in this rural Pennsylvania area, and it is there that she is forced to face everything that she tried to leave behind. Especially when she is there, there's another girl who's killed in the same exact way as Callie's cousin. Now, Tessa then starts to question everything, including, like, did she put the wrong person in jail? Like, was there stuff that she should have said that she didn't, or maybe she didn't know? And with all of that, if the wrong person's in jail, then that means, like, the person who actually murdered is out. He's been on the loose for 10 years. This story is a slow burn, but it does pay off if you're looking for a psychological thriller with some mystery and some uber family drama. This is The Darkest Corners. And last but not least is Amity. So Connor's family moves to Amity. It's this quiet coastal town in New England. And then 10 years later, Gwen's family moves into the same exact house. But the two of them experience things that they never thought possible, never could imagine, and never will be able to forget. So this house actually comes to life. And it is this sadistic, manipulative acts, and it has these tendencies that it starts to impress on Connor and Gwen. And they start to become violent, which will change their lives and their families forever, especially as no one believes them as to what is actually happening. So this is filled with some gory horror, there's suspense. It's told in 2 points of view, both Connor from 10 years before Gwen's point of view. And this is based on the real-life Amityville horror house, which you may know some stuff about, and if you do, you know there was some crazy stuff that went down in that house. And this one will keep you guessing. You won't want to put it down to the very last page. It actually even might creep you out. This is Amity. So these are just 6 of the thrillers and suspense books that we hear ever at the library that kind of get you into that Halloween spooky mood. So we encourage you to come on out, check out one of these, or we have some other awesome thriller and suspense books that we'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction towards. So I hope you have a great Halloween week, and I hope you tune back next week when we have a whole new teen book spotlight.